At the beginning of the drama, we see the female lead whose name is Shenxi, who is always busy with her life. In the next scene, Shenxi falls asleep while exercising, so someone wakes her up and says, "Why are you sleeping here?" Shenxi says, "I couldn't sleep, so I thought I would exercise." Then, Shenxi's dad tells her, "You should get a checkup from the doctor." In the next scene, Shenxi goes to the hospital, and the nurse gives her an appointment and tells her to go to the cabin. Now, as Shenxi approaches the cabin, the doctor comes out, whom Shenxi keeps looking at, and this doctor is none other than our male lead, Hee-soo. In the next scene, Shenxi is sitting in the clinic and tells Hee-soo, "I have insomnia." Hee-soo asks, "After what time do you sleep?" Shenxi says, "I sleep after 1 o'clock." Then, Hee-soo tells Shenxi, "Look at me." Hearing this, Shenxi starts looking at him, and Hee-soo just keeps staring at her, and from that moment on, he starts to like Shenxi. Now, Hee-soo writes down some medicine and says, "Your treatment will continue, so come next week as well." In the next scene, Shenxi comes to get her medicine when Hee-soo also arrives from behind her, and this time, he wasn't wearing a mask. When Shenxi sees him, she is left stunned because he was so handsome. Hee-soo tells her, "You can take the medicine after 4 hours." In the next scene, Shenxi goes to a shop to get breakfast and sends a voice message to her family, saying, "This medicine is of no use. I couldn't sleep at all last night. Throw it away." Just then, she hears a voice from behind her. "It will go to waste." Hearing this, Shenxi gets scared and looks back to see it's Hee-soo. Hee-soo says, "This medicine takes some time. You will have to take it for a long time." Hearing this, Shenxi leaves from there. Then, Hee-soo asks the shopkeeper, "Does this girl come here often?" The shopkeeper says, "Yes, she lives nearby and sometimes comes to get breakfast." In the next scene, Shenxi is at the office with her friend, and she tells her about Hee-soo. So her friend, whose name is Xiang, says, "Is he really handsome?" Shenxi says, "Yes." So they both decide that next week they will go for a checkup together. In the next scene, Xiang and Shenxi go to the hospital, but Hee-soo hasn't arrived. Another doctor has come in his place. In the next scene, Shenxi and Xiang are sitting somewhere drinking coffee when Xiang says, "Are you happy with your boyfriend?" Shenxi says, "I don't know if I'm happy or not because I've gotten used to him now, and it's been many years of our relationship." In the next scene, Shenxi is going home when she sees Hee-soo, who is skating. Shenxi stops him and asks, "You didn't come today?" Hee-soo says, "I had some urgent work, which is why I couldn't come." "Did you see another doctor?" Shenxi says, "Yes." Now, as Hee-soo is about to ask for her WeChat, Shenxi says, "I am coming next week, don't make me wait." Saying this, she leaves. So Hee-soo doesn't work up the courage to ask for her WeChat number. In the next scene, for the first time, Shenxi is sleeping so peacefully at night that she doesn't even realize how the night passed. In the next scene, Shenxi is leaving after finishing work at the hotel because her boyfriend comes to pick her up, who also brings a bouquet for her. Seeing this, her colleagues get jealous that Shenxi's boyfriend is so rich. In the next scene, Shenxi is having dinner with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend says to her, "Will you really still work at the hotel? In a few days, I will bring my business partner, and you will serve him. And when they find out that you are my wife, how will I feel?" Shenxi says, "You didn't have a problem with my work before." Shenxi's boyfriend says, "That was before, but now I want you to find another job or stay with me. You are so selfish, you're only thinking about yourself. You're not even thinking about how much I love you." Shenxi says, "You've come after so many days. I don't want our mood to be spoiled. We will talk about this topic later." In the next scene, Shenxi is very upset and is sitting on the lawn outside eating ice cream. Just then, Hee-soo arrives and says, "Didn't I tell you not to eat cold food and you are eating so much ice cream?" Shenxi says, "No, I only ate a little." Hee-soo says, "A little? You've eaten more than half of it. All right, you can eat it now." Now, Hee-soo comes and sits next to Shenxi and asks, "Why haven't you slept yet? The medicine I gave you, is it not helping you?" Shenxi says, "No, the medicine is very good. I've been able to sleep for 4 to 5 days." Hee-soo asks, "Then are you having some problem at work?" Shenxi says, "No, it's nothing like that." Hee-soo says, "Did you have a fight with someone?" Shenxi says, "Yes." So Hee-soo asks, "Did your boyfriend fight with you?" Hearing this, Hee-soo gets a little sad. Then Shenxi says, "It's not my boyfriend's fault. Rather, there are some things that I can't decide for myself." Hee-soo tells her about an exercise and says, "Your heart will feel quite relaxed with this." Saying this, Hee-soo starts to leave and says, "If you can't sleep again, take the medicine I gave you." In the next scene, Shenxi goes to Hee-soo for a checkup. Hee-soo asks, "Are you having trouble sleeping again?" So Shenxi says, "Yes, I haven't been able to sleep for a few days." Hee-soo understands that her insomnia is because of her boyfriend. He tells Shenxi, "You don't need to keep anything in your heart. You can let it out." Shenxi says, "I've been busy for a few days, so I haven't been able to talk to anyone." Hee-soo says, "You can trust me. I can cure your insomnia, but you will have to undergo proper treatment." Now Hee-soo treats Shenxi, which also causes her pain. Then, a very romantic scene is created between them because they are very close to each other. In the next scene, Hee-soo leaves after 15 minutes, and Shen-shi is asleep, so Hee-soo doesn't wake her up. In the next scene, when Shen-shi wakes up after 2 hours, she says to Hee-soo, "Why didn't you wake me up? Your time was wasted today because of me." Hee-soo says, "You hadn't slept for many days, right? That's why I didn't wake you. And here, I have prepared natural tea for you, and when you can't sleep, drink this." In the next scene, Shen-shi is sitting in her office when she gets a message from her boyfriend who says, "I have wanted to tell you something for many days. I have broken up with you." Hearing this, Shen-shi calls him again and again, but he doesn't pick up the call, so Shen-shi starts crying. In the next scene, Hee-soo is checking for Shen-shi's appointment, which he can't find. So he goes to the reception and asks, "Is there any appointment by the name of Shen?" The receptionist says, "No." So Hee-soo asks for Shen's number from the reception. In the next scene, Hee-soo calls Shen-shi and says, "You didn't come to the hospital today." Shen-shi says, "There is a summit at our hotel today, which is why I am busy and can't come." Hee-soo says, "Can I add your number on WeChat so I can send your prescription?" Shen-shi says yes, and Hee-soo becomes happy. Now Hee-soo prepares a separate medicine. In the next scene, Shen-shi comes home and sees that a different medicine has been sent for her, so she messages Hee-soo. Hee-soo says, "You like bubble tea a lot, so I made this medicine for you. If you put it in boiled water, it will taste like bubble tea." Hearing this, Shen-shi becomes very happy, and when she tries the tea, she likes it a lot. In the next scene, Shen-shi goes to get medicine and asks the receptionist about Hee-soo. The receptionist says, "The doctor is not in today. He comes on Saturdays." In the next scene, Hee-soo is working in another department when he gets a message from Shen-shi. She says, "Are you free today? I went to the clinic. You weren't there." Hearing this, Hee-soo becomes happy and asks to meet Shen-shi. In the next scene, Hee-soo goes to meet Shen-shi and is very happy to see her. And Shen-shi is also happy to see the trees and says, "Why did you call me here? Is some special treatment happening?" Hee-soo smiles and says, "I am not giving any special treatment." Then, Hee-soo checks Shen-shi's pulse and finds out that Shen-shi's health is very poor, so he asks, "You are not sleeping well at night. And what is happening to you?" Shen-shi says, "Nothing. I'm just a little busy." Hee-soo understands that something is going on with her. Now they both talk a lot, and Hee-soo looks at Shen-shi with great love because he is starting to love Shen-shi a lot. And Shen-shi also enjoys talking to Hee-soo very much. In the next scene, Shen-shi is sitting in a garden taking her medicine when Hee-soo comes and sees how bitter the medicine tastes to Shen-shi. So Hee-soo asks, "Is the medicine that bad?" Shen-shi says, "You taste it yourself." Hee-soo says, "Why should I try it? I don't have insomnia." Shen-shi asks, "Why are you skating?" Hee-soo says, "I got tired after working all day, so I came to get some fresh air." Then, Hee-soo says, "I am going to the nearby supermarket. Will you come with me?" So Shen-shi also goes with him. In the next scene, they are returning from shopping when Hee-soo gives Shen-shi a mint candy and says, "Whenever you take medicine, eat a candy after it." So Shen-shi takes out a candy and eats it. Then Hee-soo says, "I gave you candy so that your life can also be sweet like candy." Then Shen-shi says, "Thank you" to Hee-soo. In the next scene, Hee-soo is going home after the hospital, and it is raining heavily. He is covering his head with his bag and walking when Shen-shi calls out to him from behind. Hee-soo turns around to look, and Shen-shi is coming with flowers in her hands. Now Shen-shi goes to him and says, "Why didn't you bring your umbrella?" Hee-soo doesn't say anything. He was just looking at Shen-shi. So Shen-shi says, "You are very tall. My hands are hurting. Quickly, hold this." Now as they are both walking, Hee-soo says, "Who gave you these flowers?" Shen-shi says, "No one. I bought them myself. Did you like these flowers?" So Hee-soo says, "Yes, very pretty." Then Shen-shi takes out half of the flowers and gives them to Hee-soo. Just then, Shen-shi's house arrives, and she is about to go inside when Hee-soo says, "Take your umbrella with you." Shen-shi says, "When I come to the hospital, you can give me my umbrella." In the next scene, in the hospital, Hee-soo is looking at those same flowers when someone makes a video of him, which goes very viral because Hee-soo was very handsome. In the next scene, Shen-shi goes to the hospital, and there is a huge rush. Just then, Hee-soo messages her, "You can come at 12 o'clock." In the next scene, Hee-soo is sitting outside in the garden when Shen-shi comes there and says, "How was your day today?" So Hee-soo says, "I was very troubled today." So Shen-shi takes out a sandwich and gives it to him. Hee-soo tells her, "Thank you, I will eat it later." Shen-shi asks, "What is your age?" Hee-soo says, "I'm about to turn 31. Shen-shi says, "So no one forces you to get married?" So Hee-soo says, "I don't get time to think about all these things." In the next scene, Hee-soo is treating Shen-shi again in his clinic, and Shen-shi falls asleep while talking. Now after some time, Shen-shi wakes up, and Hee-soo gives her medicine. Shen-shi repeatedly asks to remove some bitter medicine, but Hee-soo refuses. Now Shen-shi gives Hee-soo a ring and says, "If you want to get rid of marriage proposals, wear this." So Hee-soo wears that ring. ring. In the next scene, Shen-Chi is having lunch with her friend. Shen-Chi shows Xiang that viral video of Hye-Soo and says, "Didn't I tell you? He looks just like a hero." Xiang says, "Yes, he is very handsome." Shen-Chi says, "Do you regret rejecting him? But you can still set up with him." Xiang says, "No, why don't you try? Maybe you two are made for each other." Shen-Chi says, "No, I just had a breakup. I can't do that. I can't be in a relationship with anyone." In the next scene, Shen-Chi's parents call her. When Shen-Chi goes to them, her parents say, "Are you two-timing?" And they show Shen-Chi her photo with Hye-Soo. Shen-Chi says, "My breakup happened a long time ago." So her mom says, "Did he treat you badly?" Shen-Chi says, "Yes. Whenever he came from outside, we had nothing in common to talk about." After that, Shen-Chi says, "I want to go abroad and do my master's," but her parents don't agree. In the next scene, Shen-Chi goes outside and starts doing the exercise Hye-Soo told her about. Just then, Hye-Soo comes there and says, "Why are you sitting here alone?" Shen-Chi says, "Just because." Hye-Soo says, "If you exercise like this, it won't work. Come on, let's go eat snacks." In the next scene, they are both eating hot pot together when Shen-Chi says, "Did your family support you in all your decisions?" So Hye-Soo says, "My dad wanted me to study Western medicine, and my mom also died because of breast cancer, and Western medicine was a big reason for that. Only traditional medicine could have saved my mom. That's why I wanted to study traditional medicine, and because of this, I had a lot of fights with my dad. But I made a career in what I liked, and you should also do what you like." In the next scene, Shen-Chi goes home and convinces her mom and dad to let her go abroad. In the next scene, Shen-Chi goes to the garden to tell Hye-Soo where Hye-Soo is skating. Shen-Chi goes to him, is very excited, and tells him, "My mom and dad have agreed for me to go abroad." Hye-Soo congratulates her and takes her to show her a place. Now in the car, they are both happy looking at each other. Now they both reach that location, and Shen-Chi says, "Why did you bring me here?" Hye-Soo says, "Whenever I feel down, I come here because this is a very peaceful place. The sunrise here is also very beautiful. Thank you for coming with me." Shen-Chi says, "We can watch the sunrise together." Hye-Soo says, "Yes." In the next scene, Shen-Chi and Hye-Soo are watching the sunrise together and drinking coffee. They start to like each other. Now Shen-Chi was also getting attracted towards Hye-Soo. In the next scene, Hye-Soo is passing by Shen-Chi's house when he hears the watchman's voice who says, "Shen-Chi, what happened to you?" Hearing this, Hye-Soo goes to Shen-Chi and says, "What happened?" Shen-Chi says, "My stomach is hurting." So Hye-Soo takes her with him. In the next scene, in the clinic, Hye-Soo tells Shen-Chi to lie down, but Shen-Chi says, "No, it's my period time, and the bedsheet will get dirty." So Hye-Soo says, "Don't worry, this is a disposable bed." Shen-Chi lies down, and Hye-Soo checks her stomach, which is very cold. So Hye-Soo starts to treat her, and Shen-Chi starts looking at him. When Hye-Soo looks at her, Shen-Chi turns her face away. Hye-Soo says, "You didn't have any problem with stomach cramps?" Hearing this, tears come to Shen-Chi's eyes and she says, "This is the first time I have had period cramps. It has never happened like this before today." Hye-Soo asks her, "Were you drenched in the rain?" So Shen-Chi doesn't tell him anything and says, "I get quite emotional during my periods." And then she hides her face and starts crying. So Hye-Soo gives her a tissue paper. Just then, Shen-Chi falls asleep and wakes up after some time, and her stomach pain has reduced a lot. Then Hye-Soo gives her a shirt and says, "You can cover yourself with this and go." Shen-Chi says, "I will go with you." So Hye-Soo says, "Your family must be waiting for you, and I will be a little late." Now, as she is leaving, she looks at Hye-Soo from behind because she started to like him a lot. In the next scene, at home, Shen-Chi is cleaning Hye-Soo's shirt and starts to smell its scent and then thinks, "What am I doing?" And then she puts the shirt in for washing. In the next scene, Shen-Chi goes to a food shop, and Hye-Soo is also sitting there, who is very upset. Shen-Chi says, "Did something happen?" Hye-Soo says, "No, just like that." Shen-Chi says, "If you want to share something, you can share it with me." Hye-Soo refuses and says, "Are you free and can you walk with me?" In the next scene, they are both walking, where Hye-Soo is thinking about his mom when she died, and Shen-Chi is walking behind him. When Hye-Soo remembers Shen-Chi, he turns to look. Just then, a cyclist is passing by, who is about to collide with Hye-Soo, but Shen-Chi saves him. Now Shen-Chi is just looking at the cyclist when Hye-Soo hugs her, because he was very upset today. Shen-Chi doesn't understand what to do. She stands there quietly, but Hye-Soo keeps hugging her for a long time. In the next scene, Shen-Chi is at her workplace and is blushing thinking about Hye-Soo. Just then, she gets a call from her mom who says, "Don't make any plans this weekend." Shen-Chi says, "Why?" Her mom says, "I will tell you when you come home." In the next scene, Shen-Chi is sitting at home with her mom. Her mom says, "We have fixed a date for you." Shen-Chi says, "I am not going." So her dad says, "We have seen the boy. He is very talented." But Shen-Chi keeps refusing, but her mom is forcing her a lot. In the next scene, Hee-soo is with his junior when one of his juniors, whose name is Jie, says, "My family has fixed a date for me, but I don't want to go because I like someone else. Can you go there for me?" So Hee-soo refuses. In the next scene, Shen-shi goes to the restaurant and thinks from behind that it is Hee-soo, but it is Ji with whom her date was fixed. Now, in the course of conversation, Shen-shi says, "I didn't want to come here. My family forced me to come. I want to go abroad and study." Ji says, "I also like someone else." After this, they both start talking to each other. In the next scene, Hee-soo asks Jie, "What happened with your date?" Jie says she also didn't want to go on a date like me. Her parents forced her. Then Ji starts telling him about Shen-shi. When Hee-soo hears this, he starts remembering his conversations with Shen-shi. Hee-soo asks, "What does that girl do?" Ji says, "She works in a hotel." And then he also tells the name of her hotel. Now, hearing the name of the hotel, Hee-soo understands that he is talking about Shen-shi, which makes him smile. Jie says, "You look quite awkward smiling like that." So Hee-soo says, "You focus on your work," and leaves from there. In the next scene, Shen-shi is standing with her friend Lin when a colleague comes and gives her a flower. In the next scene, Shen-shi is going with that same flower when Hee-soo comes from the front. Shen-shi says, "You seem very happy today. What's the matter?" Hee-soo says, "Something good happened today, that's why." Shen-shi says, "Since you're happy today, you can keep this flower," and leaves from there. In the next scene, Shen-shi is getting off the bus and coming. When Shen-shi is crossing the road, Hee-soo calls out to her. Hearing his voice, Shen-shi gets happy and runs to him and says, "Let's order dinner." Hee-soo says, "How about we have dinner at my place? I was thinking of making an herbal cuisine." Hearing this, Shen-shi is surprised that he is inviting her for dinner. Now Hee-soo says, "Let's go." Shen-shi is a little hesitant, but goes with him. In the next scene, when Shen-shi and Hee-soo reach home, Hee-soo says, "I'll get you something to drink." Now Hee-soo gives Shen-shi a drink and says, "Sit down and relax." Now Hee-soo is getting dinner ready, and Shen-shi is watching him, sitting on the sofa, because he was looking very handsome, and Shen-shi is getting attracted to him. Now after some time, Shen-shi goes to Hee-soo and says, "I need your help with something." So Hee-soo says, "Do you know how to cook?" Shen-shi says, "No." Hee-soo says, "You sit here and watch me cook." In the next scene, the food is ready, and they are both having dinner when Shen-shi says, "I need your help with a job." Hee-soo says, "Yes, tell me." Shen-shi says, "A wellness tasting program is being organized at my hotel, and medicinal cuisine is a part of it, for which we need a consultant. So, I thought I would talk to you." Hee-soo says, "Yes, I will become a consultant." Now Hee-soo drops Shen-shi to her house. Shen-shi says, "Next time, I will give you a treat." Hee-soo says, "Okay." In the next scene, Hee-soo is on a hospital visit where a child who has cancer gets attached to Hee-soo. This child's name is Zhao. He gets attached to Hee-soo because Hee-soo is very caring. Now Zhao and Hee-soo are having lunch together, and Zhao is talking to Hee-soo and says, "After my mom, you feel like my father." Hee-soo's junior, whose name is Fang, is sitting there watching him. In the next scene, Shen-shi calls Hee-soo and says, "I am sending you the proposal by email. If you like it, please give me your ID card. And if you are free, can I come to get your signature?" Hearing this, Hee-soo smiles because he also wants to meet Shen-shi, and Shen-shi herself is coming to meet him. In the next scene, Shen-shi is waiting for Hee-soo in the hospital garden. When Hee-soo arrives, he sees that Shen-shi is sleeping on the bench. Then, Hee-soo suddenly comes and sits next to Shen-shi, which scares her. Hee-soo says, "Did I make you wait, which is why you are feeling sleepy?" Shen-shi says, "No. I sometimes take a day off from work, and on that day, I feel very happy because I get to sleep." Hee-soo says, "Come with me." Now Hee-soo takes Shen-shi with him to the garden and asks her to try a herb. When Shen-shi tries the herb, it is very bitter. Hee-soo says, "I did all this so that your sleep would go away." Now Shen-shi gets a file signed by Hee-soo. Hee-soo asks, "Are you free?" Shen-shi says, "Yes." So Hee-soo says, "Then let's chill." Now they are both talking comfortably and blushing, looking at each other. Just then, Hee-soo gets an urgent call from the hospital. Hee-soo says, "You sit here. I will be back in a little while." Shen-shi says, "It's okay. You go. I am also leaving." After Hee-soo leaves, Shen-shi sees a file that belongs to Hee-soo. Now Shen-shi goes to the hospital to give the file to Hee-soo. In the next scene, as Shen-shi is approaching the cabin, Fang comes there and says, "The doctor doesn't give consultations to anyone before 1:30. Shen-shi says, "I have to give him something." So Fang says, "If you have something, I will give it to him." Shen-shi says, "No, I have urgent work." Now Shen-shi goes to the cancer department where Hee-soo is working. Just then, Zhao comes there, who calls Hee-soo dad, and Hee-soo also talks to him lovingly and goes inside. Shen-shi is shocked to see this and messages Hee-soo, "You forgot your file. I am near the nurse's station. You can come and get your file." Now after a while, Hee-soo comes to get the file from Shen-shi, and Shen-shi seems upset to him, but but Shenxi gives the file and leaves from there. In the next scene, Shenxi goes to a toy store to buy a gift for Hei Susan and tells Xiang everything, which makes Xiang very angry. Just then, Hei-Su invites Shenxi for dinner. Shenxi says, "I have already had dinner. I can't come." Hearing this, Hei-Su becomes very sad because he had prepared many dishes for Shenxi. In the next scene, Shenxi and Xiang are drinking. Shenxi is very sad, and Xiang is bad-mouthing Hei-Su. Now they both get very drunk, so Lin comes to pick them up. Shenxi says, "You take Xiang, I have booked a cab." In the next scene, Shenxi is going home when she sits on a bench, which is near Hei-Su's house. When Hei-Su passes by there, he goes to Shenxi and wakes her up. Shenxi says, "What are you doing here? And don't touch me." Hei-Su says, "Come on, you are very drunk. I'll drop you home." Shenxi says, "You are trash. You call lots of girls to your house." Hei-Su says, "Fine, I'm trash. Let's go home." Shenxi is about to bite his hand, but Hei-Su pulls his hand away. Now, Shenxi starts to leave and says, "Don't follow me. I'll call the police." But Hei-Su was following her because he wanted to get Shenxi home safely. Just then, Shenxi's mom and dad come from the front. Shenxi says, "Mom, this guy with the bowl haircut is following me." So Shenxi's dad, thinking he's a thief, starts chasing him away. Hei-Su also doesn't say anything and leaves from there. In the next scene, Hei-Su goes to the hotel with Fang and Ji for a consultation, where they are welcomed well, but Shenxi is ignoring him. In the next scene, everyone is seated, and Hei-Su is telling everyone about traditional medicine and is trying to talk to Shenxi, but Shenxi is ignoring him. In the next scene, after the work is finished, they are all having lunch. Jie gives food to Fang, and Xiang gives food to Lin to make him jealous because they both liked each other. Hei-Su asks Lin, "Why did you give me a child's gift?" Lin says, "Because we thought your child would like such things." Jie says, "Doctor, Hei-Su's child?" and then says, "Doctor, Hei-Su doesn't have a child. He is single." Hearing this, everyone starts looking at Shenxi. So Shenxi says, "When I came to give you the file, a child was calling you dad." Dai says, "He is a patient at our hospital. He is very attached to Dr. Hei-Su, so he calls him dad." Now Byung looks at Shenxi angrily, and Hei-Su is also smiling a lot. He is enjoying that Shenxi is also getting jealous, but Shenxi is feeling very embarrassed. In the next scene, they all get a group photo clicked, in which Hei-Su and Shenxi are close to each other. In the next scene, Hei-Su takes Shenxi to see a tree and tells her to smell the tree. When Shenxi smells the tree, she says, "Its smell is very familiar." Hei-Su asks, "Are you wearing a perfume that is like it?" Shenxi says, "No, its smell is like you." Hei-Su says, "But I don't wear perfume." So Shenxi smells it again and then comes close to Hei-Su and smells him. Now, as Shenxi gets close to him, Hei-Su's heartbeat gets very fast and he gets stuck. Now Shenxi smells the tree again and says, "Yes, this is not your smell. Maybe you once kept this herb with you, which is why you are smelling like this." Then Shenxi says, "You resemble this tree." Hei-Su asks, "How do I resemble this tree?" Shenxi says, "The smell of this tree is quite gentle and mild." Hei-Su says, "You are calling me gentle and mild. This means you understand me well. And this tree is ordinary, but you think well of me. That's why you said that." Shenxi says, "Sorry, I shouldn't have said that." Hei-Su says, "It's okay. I take your words as a compliment." Shenxi says, "Its smell is also a bit complicated, like a toxic substance." Hei-Su says, "Is there something like garbage in its smell? You called me trash that night." Shenxi says, "I was drinking that night. Maybe that's why I said that to you." Hei-Su says, "I've heard that a person speaks the truth when they're drunk." Shenxi says, "Who knows? Maybe I wasn't talking about you." Now they start looking at each other with loving eyes. In the next scene, Shenxi is leaving her hotel when she gets a message from Hei-Su, "Whenever you are free, come to my house." Hearing this, Shenxi gets very happy. In the next scene, Shenxi goes to Hei-Su's house, and Hei-Su gives her slippers to wear. Now, as Shenxi is putting on the slippers, her eyes fall on a key ring, and she says, "What kind of ring is this?" Hearing this, Hei-Su gets nervous that she might have seen that other ring. So he places that key ring on top of that ring and says, "This key ring is made from the bones of a very old dragon." It seems to Hei-Su that Shenxi didn't see the ring, but Shenxi had seen it. Now they are both having dinner when Shenxi shows Hei-Su the group photo. Hei-Su says, "My photo is not good because I always look serious, but that day, I was very happy." Hearing this, Shenxi doesn't say anything and is feeling happy. Now, after having dinner, Shenxi says, "My mom is messaging me. She is calling me, so I'm leaving." Hei-Su says, "Wait, I'll come too." In the next scene, Shenxi gets tired from working too much and falls asleep in the wrong position. When she wakes up, her body is in a lot of pain. So she goes to the hospital and is sitting there crookedly. When Hei-Su sees her, he laughingly says, "What happened to you?" Shenxi says, I was tired from working and fell asleep in the wrong position and now my body is in pain. Hee-soo is laughing a lot at her. Now Hee-soo goes to Shenxi, gently moves her hair, and starts massaging her neck. And then he slowly turns her face and then pulls it hard, which causes Shenxi a lot of pain, and she grabs Hee-soo's hand. Now they both get very close because Shenxi's neck pain is gone, and he starts massaging her lower back, which makes Hee-soo hold her with both hands. They get very close, and Shenxi starts looking at Hee-soo's face and is blushing. Now, Shenxi's body pain is gone, so she leaves. Now, Shenxi goes outside and messages, Hee-soo, will you bring my medicine? Hee-soo says, yes, of course. Now, Shenxi goes outside, and Hee-soo gives her the medicine. Shenxi says, I need your help on a project. Hee-soo says, okay, let's go to my house. In the next scene, they are both sitting at home, and Shenxi is telling Hee-soo about the project. Hee-soo brings a note for Shenxi and says, this will help you a lot. Now Shenxi is reading the note, and Hee-soo is just looking at her because Shenxi is looking very cute to him. When Shenxi looks towards Hee-soo, Hee-soo turns his face away. Now it gets evening while Shenxi is working on the project. So Shenxi goes to Hee-soo and says, how is my project? So Hee-soo starts looking at the project, and Shenxi is only looking at Hee-soo, thinking how cute he is. Shenxi is smiling looking at him. Hee-soo tells her, your project is very good. Just then, Shenxi gets a call from someone, and she goes outside to answer it. Now after talking for a while, when Shenxi comes inside, she sees that Hee-soo has fallen asleep and he hasn't even taken off his glasses. So Shenxi starts looking at him and then takes off his glasses. Then she is taking the book from Hee-soo's hand. The book falls down, and Shenxi gets very close to Hee-soo and starts looking at him. Then Shenxi slowly goes near him and is about to kiss him when the doorbell rings. So Shenxi quickly goes to open the door. Then we find out that Hee-soo was not sleeping. He was just acting. Here at the door is Jie, and he asks Shenxi, what are you doing here? Shenxi says, I came to get my medicine. Saying this, she leaves. In the next scene, Shenxi is drinking soup at her house when she gets a message from Hee-soo that Jai has left. In the next scene, they both come to a stall, and Hee-soo gives Shenxi a donut and asks, did you submit the report? Shenxi says, yes. Hee-soo asks, then when are you going abroad? Shenxi says, in February. February was coming very soon, which makes Hee-soo sad. In the next scene, Hee-soo, his colleague, and Grandpa are discussing breast cancer and its cure. When the discussion is over, Hee-soo starts to leave when Ji says, you are in a great hurry to leave. Then Ji tells Grandpa, when I went to Hee-soo's house last night, Shenxi and he were dating. Then he says to Hee-soo, if you have to go on a date today too, then go quickly. Don't waste time. Hearing this, Hee-soo feels very embarrassed and tells his grandpa, we were not on a date, but we're discussing a project, and we both live in the same neighborhood, so it's better to talk at home. His grandpa starts joking with him, is there no cafe in your neighborhood? And then everyone starts teasing Hee-soo. In the next scene, Shenxi's mom and dad force her to go on a blind date. Shenxi is waiting there for a long time and calls her mom and says, call him and ask how much time it will take. Her mom says, I can't connect with him. Hearing this, Shenxi gets sad and is about to leave the restaurant when Ji sees her. Ji asks her, what are you doing here? Shenxi says, I came to meet my friend. Shenxi asks him, what are you doing here? Jia says, there is a reunion nearby. Shenxi says, okay, you go. I am going to eat at another restaurant because this restaurant is quite expensive. Hearing this, Ji messages Hee-soo that Shenxi is here. So Hee-soo tells him, ask her if she will join us. So Ji shows this message to Shenxi. In the next scene, Ji takes Shenxi there and introduces her to everyone. This is our friend. Everyone welcomes Shenxi. So Shenxi and Hee-soo are smiling at each other. Now everyone starts having dinner. After a little while, Shenxi goes outside, and Hee-soo is also sitting outside. So Shenxi says to him, why did you come outside? Hee-soo says, there were too many people inside, which was making me uncomfortable, so I came outside. Shenxi understands that he came outside because of her. Then she says to Hee-soo, don't worry, let's go inside. Now as they are both going inside, Hee-soo asks, what were you doing here so late at night? Shenxi says, I came to meet my friend. Hee-soo says, friend or blind date? Hearing this, Shenxi doesn't say anything, so Hee-soo says, all right, never mind. Then Hee-soo gets close to Shenxi and says, shall we go home together? Shenxi is shocked and starts looking at him. Hee-soo says, don't worry, I haven't had a drink, and I will drive. So Shenxi agrees. In the next scene, they both go inside and everyone is dancing and singing, and Hee-soo and Shenxi are watching them. Now all the friends say, come on, let's all play the truth and lie game. Now a colleague says to Hee-soo, nowadays, rumors are spreading in our hospital that you have a crush on someone. Hee-soo says, yes. So his colleagues say, "Tell us, who is she?" So Hee-soo doesn't say anything and says, "I met that girl in April." Saying this, he starts looking at Shen-shi. Shen-shi understands that he is talking about her, which is why she drinks a lot. In the next scene, Hee-soo is carrying Shen-shi towards her home when Shen-shi stops him at one point, gets down and says, "Thank you for liking me." Hearing this, Hee-soo is shocked. Shen-shi places her hand on his shoulder, gets close to Hee-soo and says, "I said, thank you for liking me." Hearing this, Hee-soo smiles, and Shen-shi kisses him. Hee-soo says to Shen-shi, "Say it again. What did you say to me?" Shen-shi says, "Thank you for liking me." Just as she is saying this, Hee-soo also kisses her, and a deep love is created between them, and they kiss each other passionately. In the next scene, Hee-soo takes Shen-shi to her house and is leaving when he comes back to make an impression and says, "How did you like the medicine soup?" When Shen-shi's parents hear this, they say to him, "Are you doctor? Hee-soo?" Hee-soo says, "Yes." Hearing this, Shen-shi's parents are very happy and ask Hee-soo to come inside, but Hee-soo refuses. So Shen-shi's mom says, "Whenever you have time, you must come to my house for a meal." So Hee-soo says thank you and is about to leave when Shen-shi's parents say, "The doctor is very handsome. We don't need to arrange a blind date for Shen-shi. He is perfect for her." Now Hee-soo puts his ear to the door and hears everything. In the next scene, Hee-soo comes to give medicine to Shen-shi. Shen-shi says, "The girl you were talking about yesterday, was that me?" Hee-soo says, "Yes. Why, is there any doubt?" Then Hee-soo holds Shen-shi's hand and proposes to her, saying, "Shen-shi, I love you." Shen-shi pulls her hand away and says, "Sorry, but I don't want to be in any relationship." Hearing this, Hee-soo is shocked because he thought that Shen-shi also liked him. Then Hee-soo says to Shen-shi, "I feel like we both like each other." Shen-shi says, "I want to go abroad and study, and before that, I can't be in any relationship." Hee-soo says, "It's okay. Until you study there, I will wait for you here." Shen-shi says, "This is a misunderstanding." Hee-soo says, "Is this really a misunderstanding?" Shen-shi doesn't give any answer and says, "Sorry." Hee-soo is very hurt. In the next scene, Shen-shi is sitting with Xiang. Xiang says, "I heard you had a drink last night and Hee-soo went to drop you home." Shen-shi says, "He confessed to me, but I refused because I want to go abroad and study. I don't want what happened to me before to happen again." In the next scene, Shen-shi was sitting in the garden doing the exercise Hee-soo told her because she was very upset. Just then, Hee-soo comes there and says, "Why are you not wearing socks in such cold weather?" Shen-shi says, "I came here suddenly, so I forgot to wear socks." Hee-soo wanted to talk to her. He says, "I am coming from working overtime." Shen-shi says, "You must be tired, so you should go home. I am also leaving." Shen-shi didn't want Hee-soo to connect with her too much. Hee-soo is also very hurt, and Shen-shi is also feeling guilty. In the next scene, Hee-soo is drinking tea with his grandpa. Grandpa asks, "Why are you so upset?" So Hee-soo tells him everything. Grandpa says, "You are over 30 years old. For the first time, you have liked a girl, and you can't force her because this is a matter of two people's feelings. If she can't feel for you, you should let her go." In the next scene, Shen-shi is sitting in the hotel when she receives an email and finds out that she has been accepted for the master's degree. But Shen-shi is not happy to see this and thinks, "Did I make the right decision or not?" In the next scene, Xiang forcibly takes Shen-shi to Hee-soo's house. When Shen-shi is sitting, Hee-soo keeps looking at her. Now, everyone is sitting and eating when something falls on Shen-shi's jeans. She goes to clean it when Fang comes there and says, "Do you know that when Dr. Hee-soo was in college, he had a girlfriend?" Their relationship only lasted for 5 or 6 years, but when she went abroad to study, she broke up with Dr. Hee-soo and never came back. And then Fang says, "I want to tell you that if you don't like him, then stop being in contact with him. Ever since you rejected him, he has been very upset." And she also says a lot of things to Shen-shi. Hearing this, Shen-shi feels very bad and is leaving from there when Hee-soo comes and understands that Fang has said something to her. Now Shen-shi picks up her bag and leaves and goes outside and is crying a lot because she is feeling very bad for Hee-soo. In the next scene, Xiang tells Hee-soo, "Do you know that ever since Shen-shi rejected you, she has been very upset? She cares about you a lot, but her previous relationship was not good, so she is scared." In the next scene, Hee-soo comes to his hometown for the New Year celebration, and there his dad introduces him to a lady, seeing whom Hee-soo becomes sad because he feels that something is going on between this lady and his dad. In the next scene, Shen-shi is celebrating the New Year with her parents. In the next scene, Hee-soo is also celebrating the New Year with his family members when he gets a message from Zhao, who sends his photo. He says, "Please say thank you to the auntie who gave me the toy." So Hee-soo sends that photo to Shen-shi and says, "This child has said thank you and wished you a happy new year." In the next scene, Shen-shi is happy to see Hee-soo's message and messages him, but Hee-soo doesn't reply. So Shen-shi gets sad and sends him a cute emoji. Hee-soo sees that and directly calls Shen-shi. Shenxi is happy to see his call. So Hisu wishes Shenxi a happy new year and says, "Did I disturb you?" So Shenxi says, "No." Now both are hesitating to talk to each other. Hisu asks, "What are you doing?" Shenxi says, "I am celebrating the new year with my parents." So Hisu says, "I have also come to my hometown." Shenxi says, "My parents are calling me." Hisu says, "Okay." Now as Shenxi is about to hang up the call, Hisu wishes her lovingly and says, "I will pray that whatever you wish for, you get." Shenxi says, "Thank you," and also wishes him a happy new year. In the next scene, after some time, Shenxi video calls Hisu. When Hisu answers the call, there is a cake in front, and Shenxi is singing a birthday song for him. Seeing this, Hisu is very happy and also gets emotional because no one has ever wished him like this before. Now they both start talking when there are fireworks. So Shenxi says, "Come on, make a wish quickly." Hisu says, in his mind, "You know my wish, don't you?" In the next scene, a woman is drying beans, and Hisu is passing by there and takes those beans for Shenxi and goes home and cleans them well. In the next scene, Hisu puts his luggage in the ride to go to his city when his dad comes and apologizes to him for last night. Hisu says, "It's okay. I have heard that people speak the truth when they are drunk." In the next scene, Hisu comes back and messages Shenxi, "I am back, and I have brought something for you." Shenxi says, "I am going to the garden for a walk now, so can we meet now?" Hisu says, "Yes." In the next scene, Shenxi meets Hisu, and Hisu has brought 2 boxes of red beans for her and also gives her an envelope and says, "Sang told me everything." Shenxi is opening the envelope when Hisu says to her, "Red beans are very good for you and your mood will also get better with this." Shenxi is just looking at the envelope and gets emotional. Hisu asks, "What happened?" Shenxi says, "I am thinking, why weren't you angry with me?" Hisu says, "Maybe I wasn't angry because something similar has happened to me, and at that time, I regretted it a lot. But slowly, I made myself better. And you shouldn't think that you are bad. Love yourself and enjoy life well." Hearing his words, Shenxi is thinking how good he is. Now they're both looking at each other and smiling. In the next scene, Shenxi is in her hotel when a lady's health deteriorates, and she doesn't go to the hospital. So Shenxi goes to her and starts talking. That lady says, "I had blood cancer, and I was in the hospital, but now I don't want to go there." Shenxi says, "I know a doctor who can treat you well." So the lady says, "Okay." Now Shenxi messages Hisu and tells him about the lady. So Hisu says, "Her condition is complicated. Bring her to the hospital." Shenxi says, "Okay," and they are both very happy. In the next scene, Shenxi takes the lady to Hisu's clinic, and Hisu is checking the report. So they both look at each other and smile. Now Hisu checks the lady's pulse and says, "You should get an ultrasound." Shenxi says, "I will take you to the ultrasound." Hisu says, "There is no need," and tells Fang, "You take her for the ultrasound." Now Fang is taking the lady, and Hisu says, "You haven't been coming for checkups for a long time. How is your health now?" Shenxi says, "My health is better now." Hisu checks her pulse and says, "What about your studies abroad? Did you receive the offer?" Shenxi says, "Yes, I got it." Hearing this, Hisu gets sad and asks, "Why didn't you tell me?" Shenxi doesn't say anything. Then Hisu asks, "When are you going?" Shenxi says, "I am going in October," and then she starts to pull her hand away, but Hisu holds her hand and says, "You were supposed to go in February, right?" Shenxi says, "I couldn't understand which semester to take, so I took the October semester." Hearing this, Hisu is very happy and checks her pulse for a long time. Shenxi asks, "Is there any problem?" So Hisu says, "Yes, you are heartless." Saying this, he starts doing his work. In the next scene, Shenxi is sitting in her house eating beans when Hisu messages her, "Did you try the beans?" So Shenxi sends him a pic of the red beans and says, "Homework completed." Hisu sends her a cute emoji and says, "You get 100 marks." Hearing this, Shenxi is very happy. In the next scene, Shenxi shows a photo to Xiang and Lin and says, "Tell me what is going on between you two." Now, we see a scene from the past where Lin is going to drop Xiang at the airport when Lin gets a call from his mom, and she says, "When are you coming? I have fixed a blind date for you." Now, as soon as Lin hangs up the phone, Xiang says, "You are going on a blind date?" Lin doesn't say anything, so Xiang says, "I hope your blind date is successful." Hearing this, Lin stops and says, "You have known me for many years. You know what kind of guy I am," and says, "I like you. Now I don't want to be friends with you anymore. I want to be in a relationship now. And if you don't say yes, I will go to my hometown and never come back." Hearing this, Xiang directly kisses Lin and, putting her hand on his shoulder, says, "Was this answer correct?" Lin is very happy and kisses her again. Now in the present scene, Lin and Xiang are sitting quietly, so Shenxi says, "This means you have been in a relationship since before the new year, and you guys didn't tell me." Xiang says, "If all the colleagues find out, we will both feel quite awkward." In the next scene, Shenxi is going back home from the hotel when Heesu sends her a photo of a place. When Shenxi goes there, Heesu is sitting there very drunk. When she goes to Heesu, he holds her hand and makes her sit and says, "You are a fickle woman." Shenxi says, "But and why?" Heesu says, "Yes, you are." Shenxi says, "But what did I do?" Heesu says, "Yes. First you trapped me and then you left me, and now you are not even coming to the hospital. Who does that?" Then Heesu starts making a fish-like face at her. Shenxi says, "I didn't have time to come to the hospital. And how did I trap you?" Heesu says, "You trapped me at that place." Hearing this, Shenxi remembers that she had said to Heesu, "I like you," and had also kissed him. Shenxi says, "You have had a lot to drink. Come on, I'll drop you home." Heesu says, "I don't want to go." Shenxi says, "Someone told me that drinking and staying outside can give you a cold." Heesu starts to smile and gets closer to her. Shenxi thinks he is going to kiss her, but Heesu hugs Shenxi and says, "Take me home. Anyway, you trapped me, and now I am your responsibility." Shenxi says, "Okay, I won't leave you." Then Shenxi helps Heesu up and takes him home and says, "Bye," and is leaving when Heesu says goodnight to her. Here we find out that Heesu hadn't drunk anything. He was doing all this on purpose. In the next scene, Shenxi's ex-boyfriend Yan has come to her hotel and is looking for Shenxi a lot. Now he is standing somewhere with a bouquet when the boss comes there and says, "Mr. Yan, you can rest in your room." Yan says, "No, I will wait for her." Shenxi's boss messages her, "Come here quickly." Now as Shenxi arrives there, Yan gives her the bouquet and says, "When will you go home?" Shenxi says, "At 5 o'clock." Yan says, "Okay, I will drop you home." Shenxi says, "It's okay, I will go home myself. If you want to talk, we can go somewhere else and talk." In the next scene, Shenxi and Yan go outside. Yan says, "We should go to my room and talk there." Shenxi turns and throws the bouquet in his face and remembers the things Yan said, that Yan had called her selfish and broke up with her without a reason. Yan says, "Forget the past. I was very busy last year." Shenxi says, "No, I can't be in a relationship with you anymore." Yan says, "How can you leave a 7-year relationship like this?" Yan holds her hand, but Shenxi pulls her hand away and leaves from there. In the next scene, Shenxi is going back home with Xiang when Yan is waiting for her there and asks Shenxi for dinner, but Shenxi refuses. Yan says, "You got punished because of me. This is all my fault, but give me one chance. I will fix everything." Xiang starts to scold him, but Shenxi stops her because there are many people standing around. Shenxi agrees to dinner. In the next scene, Shenxi is smelling the herb pottery when Yan sees her. Now they are both sitting in the restaurant and talking when Yan gets a call from his dad. Shenxi says, "Why aren't you picking it up?" Yan says, "I will talk to them later." Shenxi says, "Your dad doesn't like me at all. Why have you come here?" Yan says, "I want to marry you. My dad wants me to marry into a rich family, but I want to marry you, and you should ignore his words. I am independent now and can make my own decisions." Shenxi says, "I don't want to marry you, and you never cared about me. You never thought about what I want and what I don't. You were always busy with your work, and even after the breakup, you disappeared. You didn't care about my feelings. I really don't want to marry you, nor do I want to see you, and don't follow me anymore." In the next scene, Shenxi is going home and is feeling very stressed. She looks for the herb, but she can't find it, so she calls Heesu and says, "I am on my way and my head is hurting a lot. Can you come and check on me?" Heesu says, "Yes, I am coming. You wait in my clinic." In the next scene, Shenxi goes to the clinic, and Yan is also following her, and he has that herb with him. Now, Heesu checks Shenxi's pulse and says, "There are many things going on in your mind, and your heartbeat is also fast. Is your ex-boyfriend troubling you?" Shenxi doesn't say anything, so Heesu says, "Go and lie down. I will give you a treatment that will help you sleep well at night." Now Heesu gives her the treatment and says, "How are you feeling now?" Shenxi says, "Yes, I am feeling better now." Heesu says, "Now tell me what happened to you." Shenxi is about to tell him when Yan comes there. Shenxi gets worried seeing him. Heesu tells Shenxi, "You keep lying down." And then he goes to Yan, draws the curtain, and asks, "Have you come here for treatment?" Yan says, "I don't need treatment in a place like this. I came here following Shenxi. She is angry with me." Heesu says, "I have just treated her, because of which you will have to wait for 15 minutes. Shenxi is feeling very awkward because they are both fighting because of her. Now after 15 minutes, Shenxi is putting on her shoes when Yan says, "Come on, I'll drop you home." Heesu says, "You still have one more treatment which will take 20 minutes. Go and use the washroom." Heesu signals Shenxi to leave. Yan is also following her, so Heesu says, "Are you also going to the washroom with her?" Yan gets angry and says, "You talk too much. Don't waste your effort on her because it's been a long time since you got to know her, and if that were the case, she would be your girlfriend today." Then Heesu puts on his jacket and is about to leave and says, "Mr. Yan, You haven't left? My time to leave has come. I am closing up. Yan looks around and Hee-soo says, Are you waiting for Shen-shi? She left a long time ago. Yan quickly goes outside, but he can't find Shen-shi. In the next scene, Hee-soo goes to the hospital garden and Shen-shi is sitting there. Hee-soo helps her up and puts his jacket on her. Shen-shi is very sad, so Hee-soo hugs her and Shen-shi is crying. Hee-soo says, Why can't you forget him? Shen-shi says, It's not that I don't want to forget him, but I am angry at myself for what I did in the past. Hee-soo says, We should forget our past and focus on the present and future. Then he strokes Shen-shi's head and says, We should think of it this way. If he hadn't come into your life, you wouldn't have had insomnia, and you wouldn't have come to me for treatment. Just then, Hee-soo wipes Shen-shi's tears, and they are both smiling. In the next scene, Yan goes to Shen-shi's house. After some time, Hee-soo is passing by Shen-shi's house when the watchman stops him and shows him the entry list, in which Yan's name is written. Hee-soo says, Thank you to the watchman, and runs away from there. In the next scene, Yan goes to Shen-shi's house with many gifts. Shen-shi's parents are not happy to see him at all. Now, in the course of conversation, Yan says, Shen-shi and I like each other, and we want to get married. Hearing this, Shen-shi's mom gets very angry and says, Does Shen-shi know that you are here? And do you know what Shen-shi wants? Yan says, I know I have made many mistakes. Just then, Shen-shi arrives there and is shocked to see Yan and angrily says, How dare you come to my house? You want to marry me? Will you be able to keep me happy? Yan says, Don't you have any value for my feelings? Do you think I'm crazy? Shen-shi pushes him and says, After the breakup, how much I missed you and waited for your reply. Just then, Hee-soo comes there with soup and is about to give it to Shen-shi when Yan grabs his hand. Hee-soo frees his hand. Yan says, You hate me because of him. What will he give you besides medicine? Hee-soo says, What can you give her besides money? Shen-shi's dad gets angry and tells Yan to get out. Hearing this, Yan doesn't say anything and leaves from there. In the next scene, Shen-shi is sitting and crying when Hee-soo comes there and says, You didn't do anything wrong. And then, he kisses Shen-shi's forehead and smiles. Seeing this, Shen-shi smiles a little. In the next scene, a few days later, Shen-shi has come to the hotel for her work and finds a box in front of her office, which Yan had placed there. When Shen-shi opens the box, she sees a perfume and the herb given by Hee-soo in it. When Shen-shi smells the perfume, she doesn't like it. And when she smells the pottery from Hee-soo, she likes it very much and runs to Hee-soo and hesitantly says, I like you. Will you be my boyfriend? Hearing this, Hee-soo is surprised and says, Are you telling the truth? Shen-shi says, Yes. So Hee-soo kisses her and hugs her. Now they are both very happy because they have entered into a relationship. Now Hee-soo goes to drop Shen-shi home, and Shen-shi kisses him and says bye and leaves. Now they are both very happy. In the next scene, Shen's friends tell her, You are glowing a lot these days and look happy. Shen-shi says, I am not single anymore. I have a boyfriend. Hearing this, her friends are very happy. In the next scene, at the bus stop, Hee-soo is waiting for Shen-shi. When Shen-shi arrives, they both give each other a bouquet. Shen-shi and Hee-soo look like a very lovely couple. In the next scene, Hee-soo takes Shen-shi to his house. Shen-shi is putting the flowers she brought into a pot, and Hee-soo is getting dinner ready. Now dinner is ready, and they are having dinner together. After having dinner, Hee-soo brings a paper and says, I want to learn how to make a paper frog from you. Shen-shi says, It's not that easy to make. Hee-soo says, I learn very quickly. Just show me. Now they both start making a paper frog. Hee-soo tries, but he can't make it, and Shen-shi quickly makes a frog, but Hee-soo's frog is made poorly. Shen-shi says, Someone told me that he learns very quickly. Hee-soo says, Are you insulting me? Saying this, he turns his face to the other side and sits. Shen-shi is consoling him by putting her hand on his shoulder. Then Shen-shi hugs Hee-soo from behind and says, I want to be with you always. In a few days, I'm going abroad. If it happens that I go there and come back changed, then, Hee-soo says, If that happens, I will leave you. In a relationship, each other's happiness and sorrow matter. And if someday you feel that I am not able to keep you happy, you can come and tell me. I will try to change it. If I can't change, I will break up. Shen-shi says, Why are you saying that? Hee-soo says, I truly love you, and I want you to always be happy. Hearing this, Shen-shi gets emotional. In the next scene, Shen-shi is sitting in the hotel when Hee-soo makes a paper frog and sends her a pic. Shen-shi says, How did you make this? Hee-soo says, I learned this from an online tutorial. Now Yan sees Shen-shi talking on chat. So Shen-shi goes to him, and Yan says, Are you really in a relationship with Hee-soo? Shen-shi says, Yes. Yan says, Since when? Shen-shi says, Since last night. Yan says, What did you see in that doctor? Shen-shi says, I didn't see anything in him. Whenever I am with him, I feel very happy, which I never was with you. And I want you to also find a good life partner. and I heard that you are checking out today. If you liked our restaurant, please visit again. In the next scene, Hee-soo is waiting for Shen-shi. When Shen-shi gets off the bus, she hugs Hee-soo and says, "What are you doing here?" Hee-soo says, "You told me you were missing me, right? That's why." Shen-shi says, "You are so nice." In the next scene, Shen-shi and Hee-soo were eating. Shen-shi really likes his cooking. Shen-shi says, "I am very happy today because Yan is checked out of the hotel. I don't care about him anymore. I have moved on." Then Shen-shi holds Hee-soo's hand and says, "You have always supported me. Thank you for that." Hee-soo says, "There is no need for thanks because I also got a lovely girlfriend." Hearing this, Shen-shi starts to get emotional. In the next scene, Shen-shi, after walking with her parents, comes to a food stall. Just then, Hee-soo also comes there. Shen-shi asks him, "What are you doing here?" Hee-soo holds Shen-shi's hand and says, "You were the one who told me that your parents want to meet me." Shen-shi's mom sees this, so Shen-shi's dad says, "We wanted to meet you formally." Hee-soo says, "Maybe I misunderstood." Shen-shi's parents feel that they should let them spend time together, so they make an excuse and leave from there, and they both talk a lot. In the next scene, Xiang, Lin, Hee-soo, and Shen-shi have come for an outing. Xiang likes a place, so Shen-shi and Xiang starts taking photos. Hee-soo clicks photos of both of them, but Xiang and Shen-shi don't like a single photo. Then Lin clicks their photo, and both of them like the photo a lot. Lin tells Hee-soo, "It's okay, you will learn slowly." In the next scene, Shen-shi is taking a selfie with Hee-soo when Hee-soo kisses Shen-shi. After that, a very romantic environment is created between them, and Shen-shi and Hee-soo start kissing each other. In the next scene, Hee-soo sets the kissing photo as his mobile wallpaper and is smiling looking at it. Just then, his friends come from behind and start looking at this photo. Hee-soo smiles at them and leaves. Now they all find out that Hee-soo is in a relationship. In the next scene, Hee-soo holds out his hand in front of Shen-shi and says, "Get me some moisturizer." So Shen-shi puts something in his hand. When Hee-soo opens it, it is a ring. So Hee-soo puts his ring finger forward to put on the ring, but Shen-shi puts the ring on his middle finger. Hee-soo says, "You put the ring on the wrong finger." Shen-shi says, "Putting a ring on that finger would be too hasty." Hearing this, Hee-soo gets sad and lies down on the sofa. So Shen-shi kisses him and says, "You are only mine, and I want to spend my whole life with you. Are you happy now?" Hee-soo says yes. So Shen-shi lies in his lap and they both start talking. In the next scene, Hee-soo's grandpa invites Shen-shi and her parents to a garden. In the next scene, everyone is sitting and drinking, and Hee-soo's grandpa tells all his stories, from which Shen-shi finds out that Hee-soo has liked her from the beginning. Shen-shi also understands that Hee-soo was not drunk that day, and he was acting. Hearing this, Shen-shi starts staring at Hee-soo, and Hee-soo is feeling embarrassed. In the next scene, after working, Hee-soo goes to his house, and Shen-shi is already sitting there. Hee-soo sits next to her. Shen-shi asks, "What are you working on?" Hee-soo says, "I will tell you after the results come." Just then, Hee-soo's eyes fall on a drawing in which a child and a leaf drawing are made. Hee-soo asks, "Who is this?" Shen-shi says, "This is you." Hee-soo asks, "What does this leaf mean?" Shen-shi says, "I won't tell you that." Hee-soo asks Shen-shi again and again, but she doesn't tell him, so Hee-soo kisses Shen-shi. In the next scene, Hee-soo's new report is uploaded, and he is invited to the Chinese Medical Association. Seeing this, Hee-soo is very happy. In the next scene, Shen-shi brings a bouquet for Hee-soo and is very happy because the report Hee-soo mentioned was uploaded. Shen-shi says, "You are not giving me time these days, nor are you talking to me." Hee-soo says, "Okay, today we will have dinner, go shopping, and talk a lot." Hearing this, Shen-shi is happy and kisses him. In the next scene, there is a conference at Shen-shi's hotel where Hee-soo, his grandpa, and dad also go. Shen-shi welcomes them well. Just then, Hee-soo's dad doesn't know where he has to go, so Shen-shi helps him. In the next scene, Hee-soo is having dinner with his professor and grandpa when Shen-shi calls him. Hee-soo's dad sees them and is very happy to see Shen-shi because Shen-shi had helped him. Now Hee-soo says to Shen-shi, "What happened?" Shen-shi says, "I was missing you." Now Hee-soo tells Shen-shi about his dad and says, "Meet him." Now, as Shen-shi is leaving, Hee-soo kisses her. In the next scene, Hee-soo's dad is going for breakfast when Shen-shi sees them and says, "Can I help you with anything?" Hee-soo's dad says, "No, I want to ask you, are you and Hee-soo very close?" Shen-shi says, "Yes, he is my boyfriend." Hearing this, Hee-soo's dad is happy. Then Shen-shi says, "The pottery in your hand was made by Hee-soo, and our hotel's medicinal diet was also made by Hee-soo and his team. Did you like it?" Dad says, "Yes, very good." In the next scene, Hee-soo is about to give a presentation when he sees that his dad is also there. When Hee-soo's dad sees that Hee-soo has added a report on breast cancer treatment, Dad is very surprised. Now Hee-soo starts giving the presentation when Shen-si also comes there and is very happy to see Hee-soo's dad. In the next scene, Hee-soo is sitting after giving the presentation when Lin comes and gives him a book. When Hee-soo opens the book, the drawing from his presentation is in it. Seeing this, Hee-soo goes to Shen-si and hugs her and says, "How do you think I did on the presentation?" Shen-si says, "Very good. My boyfriend was looking quite good." Hearing this, Hee-soo is happy. Shen-si asks, "Did you see your dad there?" Hee-soo asks, "Did you invite him?" Shen-si says, "Yes. And shall we and your dad have dinner together?" Hee-soo is refusing, but Shen-si convinces him. Just then, Hee-soo's dad comes and appreciates Hee-soo and is about to leave from there when Shen-si says, "Invite him for dinner." Hee-soo quickly invites his dad for dinner, and his dad is very happy. In the next scene, they are all sitting and having dinner, and Hee-soo's grandpa tells dad Hee-soo's entire love story. Hee-soo's dad is very happy. Hee-soo is also getting happy because he was seeing a lot of change in his dad. In the next scene, Hee-soo is going to drop Shen-si home when he says to Shen-si, "I want to give you something." And then he gives Shen-si his mom's bracelet. Shen-si gets emotional and says, "Why are you suddenly giving this to me?" Hee-soo says, "Because I have fallen in love with you even more." And he holds her hand and kisses it. In the next scene, Shen-si is seeing off Hee-soo's dad. Hee-soo's dad says, "Take care of Hee-soo." Shen-si says, "Don't worry." In the next scene, Shen-si comes home and remembers that she forgot her key at the hotel, which is with Xiang. She tells Xiang to give her the key and goes to Hee-soo's house. When Shen-si is sitting at Hee-soo's house, Yang messages, "Where are you?" Shen-si says, "I am at Hee-soo's house." Hearing this, Xiang says, "You stay there tonight." Saying this, she says, "Good night." Now, Shen-si is thinking how to ask Hee-soo to spend the night here when Hee-soo comes there and asks, "What did Xiang say?" Shen-si says, "She has gone out. She won't be able to come today. Can I spend one night with you?" Hee-soo says, "Yes." Shen-si says, "Can you give me a towel and a nightdress because I want to take a shower?" Hee-soo says, "Yes, but I don't have any dress of your size. Shall I give you my clothes?" Shen-si agrees. In the next scene, Hee-soo goes to Shen-si, and she was blow-drying her hair and was looking very pretty. After a little while, Hee-soo hugs Shen-si from behind and takes the hairdryer and starts drying Shen-si's hair very lovingly, and a romantic scene is created between them. Now they both are close to each other and start kissing. In the next scene, they are both sleeping together when Shen-si's eyes open, and Hee-soo kisses her and tells her to get up. But Shen-si refuses and says, "I want to sleep more now," and starts remembering the romantic memories of the night. Hee-soo helps her up and leaves. In the next scene, Shen-si is brushing her teeth when Hee-soo comes there and asks, "What do you want to do this afternoon?" Shen-si asks, "What do you want to do?" Hee-soo says, "Let's go shopping for some necessary things and also a nightdress for you." Shen-si asks, "Why a nightdress?" Hee-soo says, "For you. Would you want to wear my dress in the future too?" They both start laughing. In the next scene, Shen-si is sitting with her friend when Xiang teases her, saying, "If you want to lose your key in the future too, let me know. I will take the key with me." Lin says, "Give me a duplicate of that key. I will keep it at my house." Shen-si says, "There's no need for that. We have installed a password now." In the next scene, Shen-si is applying cream to Hee-soo and says, "You should take care of yourself. You have turned 32 now." Hee-soo says, "Who said I am 32? Have you seen my face? How young I look." Shen-si kisses him and then starts applying cream again. In the next scene, Shen-si's dad is going with vegetables when he sees Hee-soo's grandpa and takes him to his house. Now Shen-si's mom is showing Grandpa Shen-si's childhood photos when Shen-si comes there, and Shen-si's dad spins her around. Shen-si sees that Hee-soo is working in the kitchen. Now Shen-si goes to him, and they both start having fun with each other. Just then, Shen-si's dad says, "The food is very late." In the next scene, Hee-soo's grandpa is showing Hee-soo's childhood photos when Hee-soo comes there, and Shen-si starts teasing him. In the next scene, Shen-si's mom goes to Hee-soo, and Hee-soo asks her to get some tests done. When Shen-si's mom comes back after getting the tests, Hee-soo tells her, "You have breast cancer." Hearing this, mom gets sad. In the next scene, Shen-si's mom and dad go to the hospital under the pretext of going to another city, where Hee-soo admits Shen-si's mom, and she has surgery, but only Shen-si knows this. In the next scene, when Hee-soo goes to his house, he sees that Shen-si has fallen asleep there. Hee-soo wakes her up and Shen-si says, "Why didn't you come last night?" Hee-soo says, "I was busy." And then he kisses Shen-si and says, "I'll go get something for you to eat." Shen-si says, "No, let's go out to eat." In the next scene, Shen-si leaves the hotel and goes for an interview. And after giving the interview, she goes to Hee-soo's hospital and is shocked to see her mom and dad there and hides from them and tells Hee-soo, "I am at the hospital." In the next scene, Shen-si is sitting in the hospital garden when Hee-soo comes there. Shen-shi asks, is my mom sick? Hee-soo says, yes, she has breast cancer. Shen-shi says, why didn't you tell me this? Hee-soo tries to explain to her, but Shen-shi gets angry and leaves from there. In the next scene, Hee-soo messages and calls Shen-shi, but Shen-shi doesn't reply. So Hee-soo asks Xiang about Shen-shi. Xiang says, Shen-shi is with me. In the next scene, Shen-shi and Xiang are talking when Hee-soo comes there, so Xiang leaves. Hee-soo says, your mom told me not to tell you this, and as a doctor, I had to do all this, and your family is my family. I will take good care of them. Hearing this, Shen-shi says, sorry, and hugs Hee-soo. In the next scene, Shen-shi goes to her house, and her mom sits up straight seeing her. Shen-shi sees the medicine there, so Shen-shi's mom says, you didn't take this medicine? Shen-shi says, I know, Mom. This medicine is yours. In the next scene, Shen-shi's mom's report comes, and Hee-soo is relaxed after seeing the report and goes home and shows this report to Shen-shi's mom and dad and says, now don't worry. These reports have come out very good. In the next scene, Shen-shi is learning to cook for her mom and dad when a courier comes. When Shen-shi sees the courier, it has her passport in it. Shen-shi is thinking about her mom, how she will leave her mom in this condition. In the next scene, Hee-soo tries the dishes made by Shen-shi and says, let's learn to make more dishes. But Shen-shi refuses and says, Dad has made a lot of things at home. We should eat that. Now Hee-soo is throwing the kitchen trash in the dustbin and sees the envelope of Shen-shi's passport. In the next scene, Shen-shi gives her parents the soup she made with her own hands and asks, how is it? Shen-shi's mom says, very delicious. Shen-shi is getting very sad looking at her mom. In the next scene, Shen-shi is looking at something about studying abroad at Hee-soo's house when Hee-soo comes and says, what are you doing? Shen-shi says, I was watching a movie. Hee-soo says, you didn't do this before. Shen-shi says, I don't want to go to study abroad. Hee-soo says, you don't want to go because of your mom? Shen-shi says, yes, for me nothing is more important than my mom. Hee-soo says, I am here, aren't I, to take care of your parents? Don't you trust me? Shen-shi says, yes, I do. So Hee-soo explains it to her. In the next scene, Shen-shi's mom has come after getting therapy. So Shen-shi puts a fire on her mobile and places it in front of them and tells them to cross over it. Shen-shi's mom does the same and hugs them both and says, thank you. Everyone is very happy here. In the next scene, Shen-shi is preparing some papers to go abroad when her mom comes and says, show me your passport. Shen-shi shows her passport, and her mom says, my daughter is so lovely and beautiful. Shen-shi is listening to all this and gets sad because she didn't want to leave her mom and go abroad. Shen-shi's mom says, do you not want to go abroad because of me? Shen-shi doesn't say anything. So her mom says, I have had surgery and my therapy is also ongoing. I will recover very soon. If you give up going abroad because of me, I will feel very guilty. And if you want to see us happy, then live your life well. In the next scene, Shen-shi is packing her things when Hee-soo comes there. So Shen-shi also asks him to help and says, can I stay with my parents tonight? Hee-soo says, okay. Shen-shi says, I want you not to come to see me off tomorrow. Hee-soo asks, why? Shen-shi says, my flight is at 5 o'clock and I don't want to disturb you. And if you come to see me off, how will I leave you? Now, after packing, Hee-soo goes outside, and Shen-shi is putting her documents in a bag when she finds a diary. When Shen-shi opens it, Hee-soo has written about a lot of herbs for her in it, and there are also many recipes written on it. Seeing this, Shen-shi gets emotional and goes to Hee-soo's house and hugs him. Hee-soo asks, what happened? Shen-shi says, I will miss you a lot. Hee-soo comforts her. So Shen-shi says, I don't feel like going abroad at all. Hee-soo again hugs her and explains, saying, I am here to take care of everyone. In the next scene, Shen-shi's parents go to drop her at the airport. When Shen-shi is leaving, Hee-soo is watching her. When Shen-shi's eyes fall on him, Hee-soo tries to hide. Shen-shi gets emotional seeing him, so Hee-soo tells her to check her messages. Now Shen-shi checks the message, and it says, sorry, but I wanted to see you leave, and also wishes her all the best. Now Shen is crying a lot, so Hee-soo says bye to her, and Shen-shi also says bye and goes inside. Now for a few days, Hee-soo also gets busy with his work. In the next scene, after a few months, Shen-shi is coming back, and Hee-soo is waiting for her at the airport. Now Shen-shi quickly comes and hugs Hee-soo and says, I missed you a lot. Hee-soo quickly pushes her back and says, Miss, who are you? I came to pick up my girlfriend. Shen-shi says, have you gone mad? Hee-soo says, I haven't seen my girlfriend for 7 months. Now I have forgotten how she looks. Shen-shi holds his hands to her face and says, look carefully. Does your girlfriend look like me? Hee-soo checks her face and says, I don't know. Hearing this, Shen-shi gets angry and leaves. In the next scene, Hee-soo puts Shen-shi's luggage in the car and sits down and is about to say something when Shen-shi kisses him, and they both start kissing each other passionately. Hee-soo says, don't do that. My girlfriend will get angry with me. Shen-shi says, are you still stuck on that? Then Shen-shi gets close to him and and says, "It's a good thing we are in the car. Your girlfriend can't see us either." Hee-soo says, "Yes, that's also true." And then they both start kissing each other again. In the next scene, Shen-shi goes and meets her mom and dad. Her mom says, "Come on, I have made food for you. Come on, Hee-soo." Hee-soo says, "I can't come right now." Shen-shi also starts persuading him, so Hee-soo hugs her and says, "I have to go pick up my girlfriend from the airport." Shen-shi says, "What has happened to you today?" In the next scene, Shen-shi is at Hee-soo's house, and they are both watching the snowfall together. Shen-shi remembers the moments she spent with Hee-soo and proposes to him for marriage. Hee-soo says yes, and goes inside and comes back with a ring made of flowers and says, "I want to live with you for a lifetime and love you for my whole life. Will you marry me?" Shen-shi says yes, so Hee-soo puts the ring on her, and they both kiss each other. In the next scene, Hee-soo and Shen-shi's wedding day arrives, where both of their friends have come. Everything is also fine between Hee-soo and his dad. When Hee-soo's dad is leaving, Hee-soo asks, "Do I look handsome?" Dad says, "Yes, but less than me," and they both start laughing. Now as Shen-shi is coming, Hee-soo's friends don't let him see her. So Hee-soo says, "I have seen you in a wedding dress in my dreams many times when you are coming to me with a bouquet. Today, finally, my dreams are coming true. I have seen many beautiful things in my life, but the most beautiful is you." Now Shen-shi stands behind Hee-soo. When Hee-soo turns around and looks, he says, "Shen-shi, falling in love with you was the best thing in my life." Shen-shi says, "Mine too." And then they both smile and hug each other, and now Shen-shi puts the ring on Hee-soo, and Hee-soo puts the ring on Shen-shi. And finally, they both kiss each other. Now Shen-shi throws the bouquet, and Lin catches it and gives it to Xiang, so everyone tells them to kiss too. Now Lin and Xiang also start kissing each other. In the next scene, Shen-shi and Hee-soo are dancing together, and they look like a very sweet couple. Here, Ji and Fang are also smiling at each other, and everyone dances together and enjoys a lot. And with this, the drama ends here.